already decided this before, or we gave
We
it?
decided it before.
Okay. So affirmation or negation?
No, we're after.
All right, and you guys are Adams and Curry?
Yes.
All right.
Do you want us to switch seats?
We can switch,
You can switch seats.
It's okay, you can, yeah, I mean, in general, for a debating convention, it would be switched, but it really doesn't matter. I can judge the affirmation on that side.
Okay.
I should also ask what your last name, so.
Nice.
Okay. Okay.
They're on there.
Yes, but yeah, I don't know which switch. Okay.
What do you need paper?
No, I'm just gonna fill in the back of this.
Just over there.
Should be all set. Is one of you timing, or should I?
No.
I'll time anyway, but
Should I also time to, or you're just gonna have
it will be fine.
I should already have a master plan. Sure.
Yes, I will give time signals. Counting down, it's a little alarm, but we'll sound.
What kind of time signals are you guys used to counting down or counting down?
We don't,
No.
we don't really, in our class,
No?
we were, well, no.
I can just give you a 30 seconds, it's just nice and simple if you want.
Just do what you do in class.
We don't know.
Okay,
Nothing.
ignore what he does. Do what you can.
Wait, but can you signal us?
Yeah, I can do that. So go ahead and start when you are ready.
Okay. So we believe this, we believe this is a value debate. The way mechanism is harms versus benefits. The blurb is, as being on the aft side, we believe that there are more benefits for a just society to make the laws themselves than harms. Definitions. The definition for this house is the world. The definition for a just society is a society that is fair to its people. Enforce means to make laws, laws, and laws are rules. Our first contention is that societies that make their own laws have less crime because they made their laws themselves. To start, if somebody makes the laws themselves, why would they break it? There would be no reason for them to break it. Why wouldn't someone like a law that they made themselves? If they don't like it, why would they have made the law in the first place? There would be no point of making a law if you were going to break it eventually. Why would someone ever break their own laws? Therefore, making their own laws makes the just society safe and have less crime. Our second contention is that the just society should be able to make their own laws because they know what they want. They know what they want, they know what works and what doesn't work in their own society. And that makes their society better and work better. They will be able to modify laws easier to fill their needs. They will know how to make the laws the best they can be. If they can make their laws if they can make their own laws, they will function better because they will be able to adjust their own laws to make their lives better in their society. Then they will be able to work better together and be more successful. Our third contention is that societies who make their own laws often have a better bond. If a society works together and makes these laws as a team, then your society will have a better bond. If only a small number of people make the laws, take for example a government, then everybody will agree with, and then not everybody will agree with them, and therefore have less of a bond. Better bonds comes with better teamwork as well. Better teamwork makes a better military. Better military makes a better and stronger society.
We're the
negation side, and we believe that this is a valued debate. The weighing mechanism is harms versus benefits. And our blurb is, as the negation, we believe that the harms of citizens enforcing the laws outweigh the benefits. Definitions. Citizens. People above the age of 18 who have obtained citizenship. Just society. A community where laws and policies are fair to everyone. Allowed, permitted. Enforced. The act of policing. Law, the rules of a society. For my first contention, citizens can judge people based on their race, gender, or sexuality. Racism has become such a big issue in police enforcement these days. There have been many issues in current events involving police enforcement, such as the shooting of an unarmed Michael Brown by a white police officer. This issue sparked a series of shootings of unarmed black men by white police officers, which proves that even the police have issues handling law enforcement, much less the people. Current events just go to show that people can be biased when enforcing the law. This can spark serious issues among minority groups, which would cause unrest. Citizens should not be allowed to enforce the law because they could be racially or sexually biased. For my second contention, citizens would be able to bend laws that could harm others. In some societies that aren't as developed as others, people would be able to bend laws that would harm others. For example, in a not-so-great society, if anyone could watch over the law, they would be able to bend the rules to gun laws so that they can harm people they don't necessarily enjoy to be around. This could cause large amounts of chaos and would raise death rates. Just because a citizen was watching over the law, they could bend the laws and say that they were defending themselves. Normal citizens enforcing the law could lead to much harm such as rape, mass murders, kidnapping, and more. Is this all really worth it? Is murder and rape worth trusting citizens to enforce the laws? The negation doesn't think so. For my last contention, not all people in the community would necessarily agree on who enforces the law. In communities with a large range of income, of course, the more wealthy ones would want to take over. That gives an unfair advantage to the poorer side of the community, especially if the person who enforces the law has a friend who does something bad. The wealthy law enforcer could say that the friend made an accident. Since they're wealthy, though, they have automatic power over things and get away with anything. Because it's an unfair decision, the community would not be able to have citizens to enforce the law. It's unfair to the poorest sides of the community, and it shows people they can get away with things if they're wealthy. So, for my refutations, first I would like to refute that the opposing side were talking about creating laws, not enforcing laws. Law enforcement is the act of enforcing laws and policing the people to make sure they're following the laws. But the affirmation decided that they would do the debate on people who create their own laws, which doesn't follow the topic for this debate. So for their first refutations, that societies who create their own laws have less crimes, that may be true, but again, they weren't really following the topic, so I'll just refute it the best I can. Societies who create their own laws have less crimes. I agree with that, but some people may not necessarily be happy with the laws, because those people who create the laws are mostly wealthy and educated people, and of course, they'll create the laws to their own advantage. So poorer people will have less advantage when creating laws. For their second refutation that they know what they want, that's true, but the rich people know what they want. The poorer and less educated people will not really be involved in this process, and their voices will be less heard in society. For their third refutation, that they often have a better bond, with each other, that's not necessarily true because it causes tension between the wealthier side and the poorer side. Thank you.
contention was that citizens can judge based on race. Not most in other societies other than the U.S., most of the citizens are usually the same race, and then therefore they won't be able to judge on the race. For our opponent's second contention, they said that citizens could bend laws. Well, what we mean by when they're going to enforce or create laws, they will vote on them. It's not going to be one person making each law. For our opponent's third contention, they said that not all people agree with who enforces the law. Like I just said, people will vote on the laws to be enforced or to be created. And then for our opponent's first refutation, they said that that you're supposed to be enforcing the laws, not making them. And they said we had the wrong topic. I disagree with that. I believe that in order to enforce the laws, you have to create them first. For our opponent's second refutation, they said that some people won't be happy with the laws. You can't make everybody happy. That's impossible. So some people will be unhappy, but a majority of the people will be happy and enjoy the laws. Yes?
Isn't that what's happening in our society right now in the United States, in the current United States of America? The majority are happy, but the minority are not. So why do we want to switch to this new way of enforcing laws if the majority are already happy?
Well, like I said just a second ago, it's like practically impossible to make everybody happy because not everybody thinks the same exact way. So you're going to have to have a handful of people who aren't happy, and it's like that in any society. For our opponent's third refutation, they said that we said it will help bond societies, and they said it can cause tension. Well, it won't necessarily cause tension if they're working together. How would working together make other people mad at each other? And it will help them become closer together and become a stronger society.
As a negation, I would first like to start off refuting the points that my opponents made to our contentions. For our contentions, citizens can be judged by people based on race or sexuality. My opponent said most cities are the same race. But let's take a city, for example, San Ramon. With 72,000 people living there, not everybody there is going to be the same race. In San Ramon, we have races we have the Asians, we have Indians, we have Caucasians, we have Hispanic, we have Russian, we have so many different races that there are so many loopholes to judge a person. I would like to combine the refutations to our second and third contentions because my opponent replied the same thing, which is everybody will be voting on the law. But yes, everybody will be voting on the law, but those poor voices will go away. The wealthy ones can convince people with money and use bribery to have people vote for what they want, and the poor people have no choice because they need that money to help their income. For my opponent's contentions, my partner said, for their contention, society makes their own laws and are safer because they made the law themselves. My partner said, that may be true, but some people may not be happy with the law. And my opponent said, in order to enforce the law, you have to make them. But that's not necessarily true. Do all policemen who enforce the law make the law? No, the government makes the law. So if the policemen are just enforcing the law and the government is making the law, that means your refutation was incorrect. For your second contention, they know what works and what doesn't work. And my partner said the rich people know what they want and the poor people don't have a voice. And my opponent said the people that you can't make everybody happy. I would like to come back to what my partner said earlier. The rich people would be able to, the rich people know what they want, and they would be able to enforce these laws, leaving the poor people unhappy, which is just like our society today. So why would adding a new law help us? And for my opponent's last contention, they have a better bond together. My partner says it causes tension between the poor side and the wealthy side, and so I would like to add on to that and say a new point. Let's take a place like San Ramon, where there are 72,000 people. Are all those 72,000 people are going to bond together? I don't think so, because that's a lot of people that are bonding together. And San Ramon is a pretty big place. Thank you.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
In conclusion to this parliamentary debate, I believe that the negation side should win because our benefits overpowered, our harms overpowered their harms. And our first contention was that they judge people based, that citizens can judge people based on their race. And that's really true because based on current events like the Ferguson shooting, we can conclude that a lot of people are racist still in America, and we're not ready for the people to enforce the law. And for our second contention, we said that not everyone necessarily agrees with who enforces the law. And that's true, because the poor people's opinions and the rich people's opinions are going to be different. There's no avoiding it. So some people will be unhappy and some won't. And that's the current status of the American law society. So why do we want to change the current way of law enforcement when the results will be nearly the same with the affirmations way of law? And for our third contention, we said that citizens would be able to bend the laws to harm others. That's true because there's a lot of crazy and insane people out there, and you never know what they're going to do with those guns because they could harm their enemies or just kill random people because they can be the police. And I would also like to point out that a problem with law enforcement, that not everyone goes to law school. So not everyone is going to know the law. So they don't know. So the average person is not going to know whether or not this situation is, if this situation bends the law. And I would like to refute the opposing side's point